think about the team and tell me the squad that is going to have a facelift completely this season. We've, of course, got a lot of teams that have a lot of money to spend. Among those, you got the Colts, you got the Jags right at the top, followed by the Jets. The Patriots have a lot of money to spend. They're always interesting and hard to read. Colts, Broncos are on this list. So, Shriggs, I ask you, who's going to have a completely different look in the next 2 weeks?
I think Bidwell's spot on about seismic shift. And when you listen to this, you're like, wait a second, all my favorite players aren't going to be in the NFL. No, they will be, but you might see a lot of guys released and then signing one-year deals or two-year deals with less money involved just to get through these next few years of salary cap, and then when the money explodes again, say, okay, I'm going to hit it again. So you will see your favorite players on teams. It just might not be the one you expect. One team I have no idea what to expect from. It's a team that is still in salary cap hell and is still dealing with a quarterback situation that I think gets weirder and weirder by the day. The New Orleans Saints are fascinating to me. I think we all were conditioned to think, all right, the Saints, they're going to go for this last ride. They might go through a rebuild, whatever it is. They've already started cutting valued veterans. Take a look at some of these guys just the last few days you might have missed. Jared Cook was one of their best receivers the last few years. He got released. Josh Hill, valued backup tight end to Jared Cook, released. Nick Easton released. They just had to rework Will Lutz's contract, one of the best kickers in the league. They reworked Drew Brees' contract. Is Drew Brees coming back? I don't know. They're still $50 million over the salary cap number, over the cap. And I think the salary cap goes even lower. It's going to have to be just an incredible mastery of the salary cap by guys like Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton, and finding a way to keep this roster competitive. And I think it actually might be to their advantage that a lot of these veterans are going to be released and looking to go to places where they want to play for the head coach. And they might not be getting the same money as they would have in any other year, but they want to maybe win a ring. Saints aren't going anywhere. They're not going to go in the tubes. They're not going to go 3-13, whether it's Drew Brees or Jameis or Taysom or whoever else. Saints are going to be relevant because Sean Payton's a great coach and Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas are great players.
Who got
Cameron
paid.
Jordan. All those guys are going to be there. It's just the surrounding pieces. I don't know who's at quarterback, and I don't know some of the other veterans that might end up there. Saints are fascinating. It's one of these deals where they knew this was coming. Like, we're going to go for it now. We're going to take our hits later. Well, later's here. Yeah. And the salary cap, it's like there's a day of reckoning, and now they got to figure it all out. I'm fascinated to see what New Orleans looks like, who's even on the field, who's even at quarterback. Because as of right now, Drew Brees is pushing sleds and eerily hasn't decided or announced that he's leaving anytime soon.
And in recent years, they've given big deals to Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara got paid last year a lot at the running back position that people don't want people to get paid at. So it's really interesting to see what happens.
You said eerily. You went to a dark place last segment, Peter. You grabbed your scythe and said it's going to be a bloodbath, and agents to talk to your players, and players talk to your agents. Like, it's coming. Right?
I think if you see Kyle Van Noy in the second year of a 5-year contract where he got $41 million be released, and then Jared Cook the next day, like, those are the little signs that these are coming, and teams are making decisions because they have to. They have to. They have to get under the cap. They got to go with cheaper options.
It's funny you mentioned the Saints, because a lot of times some of these teams that are just super active and we expect to spend a lot are like just terrible teams. Like, they built up the money because they're really bad. You said the Saints. I'll go with another playoff team. I'll go with the Colts. And the Colts, I feel like we've talked about them for the last few years. They've always had money for a while, and they've been really patient, and they've kind of waited, and Chris Ballard is not this guy who just starts throwing money around, and they've waited and waited. It's like when you get a gift card, that thing burns a hole in my pocket. I will run and spend the first 5 minutes on the dumbest thing ever. They hold on to it. Like, they went and got Wentz, and I think now is the time when you take out that thing and be like, let's go to Bass Pro Shop and buy some stuff. And there's stuff to buy. And there's stuff where you could get the band back together, you could get Zach Ertz, you could get Nelson Aguilar, some of these guys to bring in with Carson. They already have the quarterback. They need to make Carson Wentz work. I mean, they really do. Financially, optic-wise, the future-wise, they got to make Wentz and Reich work. Spend. You've been waiting that gift card. I respect it. It's a great way to do business, and the team's awesome. Go and cash that thing right now. I think they're going to change it. They already have a new quarterback.
I hope so.
I think they're going to change a lot of the parts.
T.Y. is a free agent. It might be time to say goodbye to him?
I think especially at wide receiver, they need help. I do. Yeah. And I mean, T.Y. is amazing. I don't want to see him go optics-wise, but it might be time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He said, go spend that money at Bass Pro Shop.
That's right.
Yeah, how about Urban Outfitter?
Okay, I love it.
Because Urban Meyer has the Jags,
nice.
and they have a ton of money. He can be the outfitter for the squad because that's what they have to do. They have to build around who? Trevor Lawrence, and they have him coming in at quarterback. You have a new coach. There's a new level of excitement for the Jacksonville Jacks, and you can go get playmakers that are out there. And if you're Trevor Lawrence, you're hoping that a few things are straight, that you have playmakers, which they do. They have DJ Chark, who is still there. You have the running game that is behind you, which they do, and you have an offensive line in front of you, and you have individuals that could be available, whether it's center, tackles, guards, that can help shore up that front in front of the quarterback. I'll keep saying it because we will see this year. Joe Burrow this year showed us some glimpses of how good he can really be in this league. But he also showed us what it's like when a rookie quarterback is sitting behind an offensive line that can't protect him. He was getting beat up throughout the year. So you have to use it. $82 million. You're at the top of the list of the salary cap. Go ahead and spend it. What are you waiting on? There will be some superstars available. Go make it work.
Are there offensive linemen available?
I actually think, and I'm not corrected, but like the Jaguars, their one strength is the offensive line. They're really good up front with A.J. Cann, and they've got guys like Linder. So like to them, I think it's skill position players because last year,
Laviska Shenault, where's he?
I mean, look, he's a second-round pick. But this might be the year that they actually said Cam Robinson, their left tackle, he's a free agent. I think you're right. You got to bring him back.
Maybe bring in a veteran. You have a young guy, a young team on offense. You have a good offensive line. Maybe they can make some things happen. The Patriots are fascinating to me, Peter Schrager.
Yes.
I think they will look very different after 2 weeks, if only because 8 players who opted out are eligible to return. Among them, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, Marcus Cannon, talking line here. So that alone is enough for me, Triggs. Then you talk about $63 million in cap space available and a Bill Belichick who probably feels a kind of way about his old quarterback winning a Super Bowl and how his season went in the AFC East, losing it for the first time in forever. I feel like, are they going to take a big swing? Are they going to, I mean, is Cam the quarterback? I don't think so. I don't think he is. So tell me that. New face at quarterback, big swings in free agency?
They have to spend the money. I mean, we talked about this on.
They don't love spending off
Tuesday.
You mentioned it's the most intriguing quarterback situation. Who they're going to have? You got a theory?
Do they call up the Jets and say, hey, Sam Darnold? Would they ever trade within the division? I don't know. Do you then call Atlanta and say, hey, Matt Ryan? We're built right now for winning. Like, can we get Matt Ryan? Like, to me, I don't know if it's in free agency. I don't know if it's Cam Newton. I also, to your point, we talked about it on the show, like the free agents, and you believe that they still would. The free agents want to play for New England, and when there's J.J. Watt saying, hey, at 65 degrees and sunny to play in Arizona for Cliff Kingsbury, who's not going to make me work on 4 days out of the week.
He's giving me phone breaks.
He's giving me phone breaks. Like,
it comes down to money and legacy. Certain guys want money and the comfort of playing for a team in a city that's beautiful and sunny. Other guys want to be part of a legacy. And regardless of this year and how bad it was for the Patriots, they still are one of the great legacy teams in the NFL.
You want to play for legacy, go to Tampa. I mean, isn't that where the legacy is right now?
Yeah, I believe that window is short, though. You know?
Hey, Dad, you played for the Patriots, right after they were really good. Is that what younger players are seeing when they're looking at that as a landing destination?
I feel like with teams like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like they're going to be selective who they bring in because that's how they won the Super Bowl. The Patriots need players. So this is the first time in a long time where I believe the Patriots are going to be a little bit more aggressive. I remember when I was a free agent, the Patriots were rumored to be looking at me. I needed them more than they needed me. It was very clear. It's different now. Players that are free agents, they're looking at the Patriots saying, make me happy because I know you need me.
Really quick, and I know we got to get to commercial, but like a guy like Hunter Henry, if he has to choose between Justin Herbert and the Chargers that have not been good in years and they can ascend, or the Patriots, same money, everything equal. L.A. and Justin Herbert, or Belichick in New England, that's going to be the decision for a lot of these young players. What are you doing?
I say the hope that you can turn around things faster would be with New England.
I ask who's the quarterback.
Yeah, and I know it's not Tom Brady. And we're going to find out next year if that was the whole tent pole for that whole damn thing. They get 1 year to prove it. Next year, you got to win.
One mulligan, right?
That's it. Just one.
After this year,
you got to win next year. You got to have a plan. You got to win. We'll give you 1 year off.